armed robbery.
Interesting facts about famous people.
Western-like, Western-ish movies. I get comments from time to time that some westerns I show are not real westerns, in the traditional sense, usually referring to the time and location the western is set. The western is a film genre defined by the American Film Institute as films which are set in the American West that embody the spirit, the struggle, and the demise of the new frontier, generally set in the American frontier between the California Gold Rush of 1849 and the closing of the frontier in 1890. Today I'm looking at a baker's dozen of movies that fall under the title Western-like, or Westernish, if you will. If you enjoy this video, take a look at my channel for more. The link's in the description. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. The Mark of Zorro, 1940. A young Spanish aristocrat must masquerade as a fop, a man who is devoted to or vain about his appearance or dress, in order to maintain his secret identity of Zorro as he restores justice to early California. Basil Rathbone, being a well-known fencer in his own right, was asked how well Tyrone Power did in their scenes, in which stunt doubles were not used. Rathbone responded, "Tyrone Power could fence Errol Flynn into a cocked hat." Director, Ruben Mamoulian. Cast, Tyrone Power, Linda Darnell, Basil Rathbone, Gail Sondergaard. High Sierra, 1941. After being released from prison, notorious thief Roy Earl is hired by his old boss to help a group of inexperienced criminals plan and carry out a robbery of a California resort. This was the last movie Humphrey Bogart made where he did not receive top billing. The studio thought that Ida Lupino should have top billing because she had been such a big hit in They Drive by Night, 1940, which also featured Bogart, and so her name ended above Bogart's on the title card. Bogart was reportedly unhappy about receiving second billing. Director, Raoul Walsh. Cast, Ida Lupino, Humphrey Bogart, Alan Curtis, Arthur Kennedy. The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, 1948. Two down-on-their-luck Americans, searching for work in 1920s Mexico, convince an old prospector to help them mine for gold in the Sierra Madre Mountains. Walter Huston, father of director John Huston, won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. John won for Best Director. This was the first father-son win. On seeing the depth of Walter Huston's performance, Humphrey Bogart famously said, "One Huston is bad enough, but two are murder." Director, John Huston. Cast, Humphrey Bogart, Walter Huston, Tim Holt, Bruce Bennett. Viva Zapata, 1952. The story of Mexican revolutionary Emiliano Zapata, who led a rebellion against the corrupt, oppressive dictatorship of President Porfirio Diaz in the early 20th century. Anthony Quinn won his Oscar for this film on the same night that his father-in-law, Cecil B. DeMille, won the award for Best Picture for The Greatest Show on Earth, 1952. Director, Elia Kazan. Cast, Marlon Brando, Gene Peters, Anthony Quinn, Joseph Wiseman. Bad Day at Black Rock, 1955. A one-armed stranger comes to a tiny town, possessing a terrible past they want to keep secret, by violent means if necessary. 54-year-old Spencer Tracy was widely felt to be too old to play a World War II veteran, especially as the film was set in 1945, when the war had only just ended. The suit that Spencer Tracy wears throughout the film was purchased by him off the rack at a second-hand store. Director, John Sturges. Cast, Spencer Tracy, Robert Ryan, Anne Francis, Dean Jagger, Ernest Borgnine, Lee Marvin. Giant, 1956. Sprawling epic covering the life of a Texas cattle rancher and his family and associates. During breaks in filming, James Dean got the local cowboys to teach him how to handle a lariat and his hat, until he could act as if he'd been working with them his entire life. Director, George Stevens. Cast, Elizabeth Taylor, Rock Hudson, James Dean, Carol Baker. The Misfits, 1961. A divorcee falls for an over-the-hill cowboy who is struggling to maintain his romantic, independent lifestyle. Clark Gable got on with Montgomery Clift and was so impressed with his talents that he showed up to watch him work, even when he himself wasn't called for the day. Director, John Huston. Cast, Clark Gable, Marilyn Monroe, Montgomery Clift, Thelma Ritter. Lonely Are the Brave, 1962. A fiercely independent cowboy gets himself locked up in prison to escape with an old friend. After Kirk Douglas read The Brave Cowboy by Edward Abbey, he purchased the rights to it and gave the project to his friend, Dalton Trumbo. Douglas said Trumbo's screenplay was perfect, the best he had ever read, and he didn't change one word of it. Director, David Miller. Cast, Kirk Douglas, Gina Rowlands, Walter Matthau, Michael Caine. HUD, 1963. Honest and hard-working Texas rancher Homer Bannon has a conflict with his unscrupulous, selfish, arrogant, and egotistical son, HUD, who sank into alcoholism after accidentally killing his brother in a car crash. Paul Newman played the part of HUD as a villain. He was later stunned that so many young moviegoers had a poster of HUD and viewed him as their hero. Director, Martin Ritt. Cast, Paul Newman, Melvin Douglas, Patricia Neal, Bannon DeWilde. The Shooting, 1966. A mysterious woman persuades two cowboys to help her in a revenge scheme. In Warren Oates' biography, he says that he had a crush on co-star Millie Perkins. Director, Monty Hellman. Cast, Millie Perkins, Jack Nicholson, Will Hutchins, Warren Oates. A Bullet for the General, 1967. A band of Mexican gunrunners employed by a revolutionary general accept an American into their gang, unaware of his intentions. It is rumoured, to the point of almost being a legend, that director Damiano Damiani became so frustrated with Gian Maria Volonte and Klaus Kinski, two actors who were notorious for being difficult to work with, that one day they pushed him so hard that he beat them and whipped them on the set, until they finally behaved and did as they were told. Director, Damiano Damiani. Cast, Gian Maria Volonte, Klaus Kinski, Martin Beswick, Lou Castel. Mexican Revolution Spaghetti Western. Bonnie and Clyde, 1967. Bored waitress, Bonnie Parker, falls in love with an ex-con named Clyde Barrow, and together they start a violent crime spree through the country, stealing cars and robbing banks. When Warren Beatty was on board as producer only, his sister Shirley MacLaine was a strong possibility to play Bonnie, but when Beatty decided to play Clyde himself, for obvious reasons, he decided not to use MacLaine. Director, Arthur Penn. Cast, Warren Beatty, Faye Dunaway, Michael J. Pollard, Gene Hackman. Coogans Plus, 1968. Arizona Deputy Sheriff Coogan is sent to New York City to escort an escaped fugitive back for trial. When Coogan, Clint Eastwood, is searching the New York City nightclub, the large screen plays a scene from Tarantula, 1955, a B science fiction movie which was Eastwood's fourth movie. Director, Don Siegel. Cast, Clint Eastwood, Lee J. Cobb, Susan Clark, Tisha Sterling. Welcome to any new viewers on my channel. Thanks for your time today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I appreciate your likes and subscribers. Don't forget to hit the notification button to get my new videos. Share with your friends. Drop me your comments. Bye for now. See you again soon.
Interesting facts about famous people.